Well, ladies and gentlemen, you voted, and today we are starting our new series with Manchester United, which could be quite an interesting one given the complete lack of transfers that seem to be actually happening in real life, at least at time of recording. Obviously, we have done the Ten Hag simulations before, and they've gone relatively well. They've won some trophies, but in real life, Manchester United's last trophy was in 2017, which was the UEFA Europa League and the Super Cup as well. And since then, that trophy cabinet has been sat absolutely barren, and we are here to change that. I have used the updated database that I've used in previous saves for simulations and the like as well. So as you can see with the Premier League table, Manchester United are sat in 6th on 58 points, which is where they finished at the end of this season. And you can see we are on the 5th of June 2022, so we are a year in the future in terms of a Football Manager start date. Just to get this as realistic as possible, it doesn't completely work. We can't guarantee, for example, that Nottingham Forest are going to get promoted to the Premier League, because it doesn't do that sort of stuff. But it will give us the most important thing in this save, which is Manchester United in the correct spot in the Premier League at the end of the season. And we're going to go from there. Now, obviously, there is quite a decent squad at Manchester United. We've obviously got Cristiano Ronaldo, Fernandes, we've got De Gea in goal, Varane, Maguire, question mark. I mean, he's decent in FM. He hasn't done a lot in real life, really, though, has he? But we're going to want to improve that squad, and the whole aim of this is we're going to do about 5 seasons worth of football over the course of this series. And we basically just want to win as much as possible. If we could bag a couple of Premier Leagues and a Champions League trophy, I think that would be a successful rebuild series. I'm hoping we can do that. And in order to do that, I've given myself and Manchester United the same transfer budget that we gave Ten Hag in the second simulation on the channel, which if you haven't watched, pop and have a look at it now. I'll chuck the card up in the top corner. It's worth a watch. It was quite interesting. Hopefully we can do something similar. So we've got a £200 million transfer budget in order to rebuild the squad. That's only for the first season. After that, we get what the board gives us. So we really need to make this count, rebuild this team as much as possible so it can compete for the next 5 years or so. Obviously, as we can see as well, we've got quite a good youth squad. I mean, James Garner, I'm a absolutely massive fan because I've used him a few times on Football Manager. I'd love for him to be a part of the squad at the end of these 5 years. Hannibal was one that always comes really well. He always seems to develop really decently throughout a save, so he'd be quite good to use as well. And then we've got all the other players. I'm sure Manchester United fans are going to know them a bit more than I do. Diallo looks pretty decent as well, but for now we're going to need to buy some first team ready players in order to compete straight away. I mean, if we look at this, we have got a very good spine to the team with Fernandes, Varane, Sancho. Ronaldo, I don't really want to rely on. He's 37. He might be fantastic, but we might use him for the first season, and then after that he needs to move on. De Gea, maybe not the long-term solution. He kind of carries the team, but are we going to have him forever? Is he going to want to go back to Real Madrid, etc. And the likes of Luke Shaw, I mean, decent, but I feel like we can improve on it. Marcus Rashford as well. I know he hasn't necessarily had the best season, but at the age of 24, I think he's someone we could build around, although he is wanted by Spurs, which kind of says it all, really, doesn't it? Victor Lindelof in there as well. Right down to the bottom. The likes of Fred, probably not going to be here. Phil Jones, probably not going to be here. Pereira, probably not going to be here, and so on and so forth. But for now, the main thing is we just need to go and buy some players and spend that £200 million. So I'm going to go right through to the first game of the season, and then we'll have a look at what we've got. Next episode will be the first matches. This one just going to be a big old rebuild. Well, it has been a very long transfer window that has cost a lot of money. We're going to go through the outs first and have a look at who we've let leave the Manchester United squad and what we want to do with that going forward as well. Axel Tuanzebe, as we can see, he's gone over to Spurs. We received, I think it was £9 million for him. £9 million for him to go to Spurs. He was never getting in the team. We're never going to use him. Why have him here? Get rid. Fred has also gone. He's gone to Mönchengladbach over in Germany. We received £14.5 million for him, which is probably a bit cheap, but this is just a case of offloading players. Andreas Pereira as well, obviously been out on loan, not really done a huge amount, not looking good enough for the team. £4.5 million for him as well. He's also gone to Mönchengladbach, interestingly. We've also got some youth players go. Galbraith has gone over to Inter Miami. We've got Tom Heaton's gone over to Lyon for £700,000. And then if we have a quick look, we have got a huge amount of players out on loan as well that just aren't going to get in the squad quite yet, but could in the future. Brandon Williams, Hannibal, James Garner, to name the probably main ones. Dean Henderson, but that was already set in stone. He's obviously at Nottingham Forest as well. I think Anthony Elanga could potentially get into the team eventually. That's very much going to depend how much he reaches that potential. The same with Diallo, definitely could end up in the team in the future. Not likely to be doing it this season. But now we need to get to the more interesting stuff, which is the ins. And the first player in is Max Aarons. Now, he's maybe not quite as good as we'd like over on that right-hand side. However, he is English. That counts, I think, for a big factor when we are buying players, because we have got quotas to fill. We got stuff like work permits. He's cost us a little bit of money, £42 million. But I think he can make that right-hand side his own. The only thing I'm not overly keen on is he isn't very good at crossing. I would have preferred he would be a little bit better at that, but that's hopefully something we can train. He's got some good pace. He likes to get forward. I am more than happy with that, and I think he's going to be good over on that right-hand side. The next player we bought in is absolutely ridiculous, because I've never ever been able to buy Donnarumma on FM. Definitely not on FM22. I think I've had him in previous versions. But he's come over to PSG for 70 million. He's played a season there. Please ignore the 0. It's because of the updated database. It doesn't quite take into account everything. It just kind of gets the fixtures and stuff right, but then the actual stats don't entirely work. We've also bought in Dybala. Now, obviously, Dybala is available on a free at the start of this because he's finished with Juventus. It's still saying Zebra, and I'm not entirely sure why, because I've got the name fix on, but never mind. So for a player that we're getting on a free, he can cover that central attacking midfielder slot. I think we're going to want to be using him as an advanced forward. That's where he wants to play. This holy trinity of your dribbling, finishing and first touch is really, really good. The fact that his finishing is the worst stat in that with 15 is absolutely amazing. He's got some really good pace on him as well. Great agility, balance, all of that lovely stuff. I think he's going to be very, very successful here. The fact that he's expecting more playing time in his preferred position role is a bit ridiculous because we haven't actually played a game yet, but never mind. We then needed a backup more on this right-hand side than anything. So we've brought in Justin Kluivert. Now, obviously, we've got Jadon Sancho there. We've paid $9.25 million for this man. I think that's all right for a player of his quality. He's obviously got, as we can see, 4-star potential. It's some decent potential for the lad for that sort of money. And he's just going to be there floating around as the backup. He can play equally well on either side as well, which is always nice. You know, we're absolutely in a pinch. We can put him up front. He's not bad. So he's going to be a very, very good player for us, I think, this season. We've then got Jamal Musiala, who's come over. Was it from Bayer Leverkusen? No, it's from Bayern Munich. £53 million. Obviously, class as a wonder kid. Look at his value. It's shot up the moment he signed for United. He can play on either side. He's probably going to end up playing here in the centre. That is where he wants to play as an advanced playmaker. And even just in the pre-season, look at all these lovely upwards arrows where he's developing. The moment he's arrived in Manchester, it's been an absolute blessing for the lad. He's only 19 years old. We don't have to register him. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. We then needed to sort out the midfield a bit, and Sandro Tonali has come in to try and do that. Now, if we do end up playing with a 4-3-3, he can be the defensive midfielder in that. For the moment, he's going to be the ball-winning midfielder. get that out of the way. His tackling's pretty good. His marking's pretty good. He obviously plays at a very, very good level. Look at the potential on this lad as well. Absolutely ridiculous. We've bought him for £58 million, which is a bit steep considering Milan only signed him for 8.5. But we're having to pay a bit for players to get them in. We haven't quite got that reputation. Teams think we've got money, and then the contracts are a little bit insane because we don't have Champions League football. Ward Prowse, though, was the next one through the door. As we can see, £36.5 million for Ward Prowse. I absolutely love him. I used him on my Arsenal beta save for FM22. He is a cheat machine, if only because of this. Look at this. 20 corners, 18 crossing. If I remember rightly, his free kicks are pretty good as well. Yeah, 20 for free kick taken. That is pretty decent. He's going to be the box-to-box midfielder. We've brought him in because we need a very, very good box-to-box midfielder. He is basically, as it describes here, world class, and his set pieces in FM22 are second to none. We then got Fikayo Tomori come over, obviously formerly of Chelsea, been plying his trade over in Milan. £40 million for him. Another English player to add to the ranks as well. I think's quite good. He's got some lovely heading, because why sign a centre-back if they haven't got good heading for those set pieces at the back there? And then we've signed a second centre-back, which is Upamecano. I've used him before on the channel as well. I'm sure everyone here has heard about him. Very, very good potential. He's going to be the guy that eventually takes over as the main centre-back. No doubt about that. He's only 23 years old. We paid £39.5 million for him, which I don't think is all that bad. Now, looking at the squad itself, we can see Anthony Martial is not registered. We're trying to sell him still. Phil Jones, we're trying to sell him. Harry Maguire, our captain, is also on the transfer list. I think with Upamecano, Varane and Tomori in the ranks, he's not going to get a look in, to be honest. And I just think Manchester United fans probably want him sold, so we're having a look at that, maybe getting rid of him. Van der Beek, I could probably sell him if we needed to. Same with Eric Bailey. I haven't actually got him on a transfer list yet, but we should probably chuck him up there. Lindelof, again, he's wanted by Atletico Madrid. If they want to make a bid, I'm more than happy to have a look at that and at least consider it. The rest of them, for the moment, are probably safe because we do have to have some players. Our tactic for the start of the season is going to be a 4-2-3-1. We are also training a 4-3-3, but it will probably be this, I think, to start with. This is sort of likely to be the lineup. I mean, it'll probably be Luke Shaw in there, Rashford, yeah, Sancho, Musiala, Fernandes. It will probably be Ward Prowse. I'm not really sure what to do with Fernandes yet. Cristiano Ronaldo would probably be Dybala as well. I know it's Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's 37. I'm not building the team around him. I'm sorry. It also feels a bit like cheating just having Cristiano Ronaldo, because he's going to score bags and bags of goals, and it kind of defeats the objective of this rebuild. So he's not going to be a starting player, despite him probably being, you know, I'd imagine if we have a look at him, he's meant to be he's an important player. I was going to say, I'm assuming he's a star player. We'll see what happens with Cristiano Ronaldo and how much we annoy him this season. I don't think yet the transfers are finished. We need to offload some people because we spent a lot of money, but especially over on this left hand side, we've got Luke Shaw and Alex Telles. I'd quite like to improve that a little bit. I'm not sure who with yet, and everyone's quite expensive, but there probably needs improving. Midfield, I think we're pretty set now. Long term, we maybe need another left winger. We've got Rashford there. We'll have a think about that. And striker, at some point we're going to need a backup to Dybala. Maybe that ends up being Rashford and we sign a couple of people for over here. Who knows as this rebuild goes on. We are, in the next episode, going to have our first matches though. And our first two matches in the league are Leeds and Everton. The only problem is we've got Man City very close after that. So it might, I think, in the next episode, we do the Leeds match and the Manchester City match. Because why wouldn't you want to start with two main rivalries in the series? That's the way to do it. And if you are excited for this new series and you like the look of this Manchester United rebuild as well, then please do drop a like down on the video. We'll get that out to some other people that way, and they can come and join us on the series. Get as many eyes on people watching as possible as we rebuild Manchester United over the next 5 seasons. And if you haven't done it and you have enjoyed today's episode and you want to follow the series as well, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, ideally before the launch of FM23, which is a while away yet, and we're on about 1,400 and a bit at the moment. So if you haven't joined already and you want to watch the series, please hit the subscribe button. Until next time though guys, thank you very much for watching. Check out the videos on the screen now, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.